Greetings, YouTube. So, Mississippi has just passed a even more restrictive law against the LGBTQ community. What a shock. I actually don't have an article to link to today. I read this the other day. I forgot to send myself a link. But it's just another in a long line of these types of laws. Though I hear North Carolina is reconsidering theirs because it's costing them business. So maybe it'll cost Mississippi business, but since Mississippi is the last of the nation in almost everything, maybe they don't care. Maybe they're more than willing to embrace their bigotry and be out and proud with their prejudice and their intolerance. And again, this is all being couched in terms of, we're protecting people! Because there may be trans people in the bathrooms. Yeah, that's it. That's the heart of this, is that it's all messaging to the conservative base. The politicians are saying, we know you are bigots. We need your vote. So here's a law that reinforces and makes legal your bigotry. And this is all built around the idea that if you have, well, first the bathroom bit, but if you have a sincerely held religious belief, you don't have to deal with gay people or trans people. You don't have to work with them. You don't have to serve them. You don't have to hire them. You don't have to give them housing. You don't have to give them goods and services. You can completely cut them out of our culture and society because you have such a sincere religious belief. And you can probably understand from my tone, and if you know me at all, I think that's complete and utter bullshit. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. If you are a business owner and you do not want to do business with an entire class of people, get out of business. Sell your company to someone that will deal with the entire public. Because you have a business that's open to the public, it must be open to all the public. No whites only signs in the window. Because if you do that, if you discriminate against a class of people, gay people, trans people, black people, plaid people, whatever, if you do that, you open yourself up to litigation, and rightfully so. And any business that does this, I want them sued. I want them sued out of existence. Because a just society does not tolerate legal discrimination against any class of people. Now, if there's someone walking into a restaurant without a shirt, without shoes, okay, you can kick them out. If there's someone in a business disrupting the business, breaking things, or causing a commotion that's preventing other law-abiding customers from engaging in commerce, kick that person out. But when you start saying, I don't want to deal with gay people, or I don't want to deal with plaid people, or I don't want to deal with trans people, that's bullshit, and you should be driven out of business. Now, some people are going to say, well, that's against their freedom of speech. No, it's not against their freedom of speech. They can say anything they want to. But when they start acting against American citizens, that's when we, the other citizens, have to act in kind. I don't care what sincerely held beliefs you have. But when you start trying to impose those beliefs on those around you, that's when we have a problem. Like I said in my sweater weather video, whenever a person puts a sweater on or takes it off, it's got nothing to do with you. If they try putting it on you, then we get an issue. And Mississippi has decided that every gay and trans person in their entire state should be excluded, should be othered, should be isolated. I'm stunned they haven't started to create actual ghettos where they force them all to live. All you gay people, all you trans people, you have to live here. The rest of us don't want to see you. Ew, you're icky. Because that's what this comes down to. Ew, you're icky. We don't like you. Social conservatives are so fragile and so immature, it's unbelievable. It is mind-numbing. They cannot tolerate the concept that there are other people leading their lives differently than they lead theirs. And they want to use the law to impose their worldview on other people. And that's what they're doing in these states. North Carolina, Mississippi, for example. Not to mention, as I said earlier, they want to force men into women's restrooms. Because trans men look like men. Because they are men. If my ex walked up right now and joined me in this video, you would not be able to tell that my ex had ever had any feminine traits. Would look really inappropriate for my ex to be walking into a woman's room. Security would get called. And then my ex would have to have a very awkward conversation. Let people go to the bathroom where they want to go. Protect every class of citizen in America from discrimination, prejudice, and bigotry. At least legal varieties. If someone wants to say something nasty on YouTube, fine. They want to leave a nasty comment, fine. When they try using the law to impose their prejudice and bigotry onto other people, that's when we have to stand up and say, no, we will not tolerate what you are doing to others. Your words are one thing, your actions are another. So be a champion for justice, for tolerance, for acceptance. Make sure that every American knows that they are equal to every other. We should brook no immoral act when it comes to the acceptance of our fellow man. And we accept far too many of them without saying a word. I'm good with words, and I'm not accepting it. Why don't you join me, and we can fight laws like this? Because in 40 years, your kids are going to look back and say, why did you act that way, Mom? Dad? I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. So let's be sensible. Let's be just.